So, as we've seen before in previous videos, I've been kind of trying to find every piece of equipment for the getting it back into wartime spec. It's becoming now a little the final pieces, and I'm getting there, to be honest. And I've been having 3 months now of searching on eBay, Facebook, the contacts I've made, the friends I've made out in the States, all culminated in about 3 months of acquiring items being stored by my really good friend Jamie Webster down in San Antonio in Texas. And 2 weeks ago, I was out in San Antonio on a business trip with work, which gave me the opportunity to go and see Jamie, get all the items off him, realised I'd purchased a little bit too much and couldn't get them back in my suitcases. Luckily, friends from work were flying an aircraft out of San Antonio that week, and they assisted in taking a few bits, the bigger bits, home for me. The parts are varied from literally, the big items that I struggled to get for, this is a BC306 antenna tuning unit. This sits underneath the radio operator's table and is part of the system for tuning, the radios to get them as crystal clear as possible. They were around on eBay, quite pricey. Luckily one came up cheap. However, it's just a bulky item. I just couldn't afford to get it shipped back home just by USPS, so it kind of got stored down in Texas, just awaiting for an opportunity for me to get to Texas one day and bring it back in the suitcase. So that happened last week. Another good friend of myself and of the project really is Dave Klingensmith. He's been really great in either having lots of wartime parts that he's given us for free, or has acquired items on our behalf and has never wanted any money in return. So Dave managed to get one of the rare items that we needed for the radio operator's position was a liaison and command junction box, full of electrical gubbins for the powering up of the radio system. It's not going to get used, but it is an item which is going to be visible in the radio operator's position. So we wanted it to be bolted inside there. So Dave bought one and has given it to us for free. So thanks to Dave really for all that hard work he's done. Other items we've managed to get was oxygen regulators. We've got a few here in Coventry ready to go. However, they were missing the tube for the oxygen hose to come out of. So weirdly, it was cheaper for me to buy a complete assembly than trying to source just that little tube itself. So a few of them have come back with me from Texas. So they'll get bolted onto the wooden boxes that myself and my father have made. I've got a good deal one day. A guy in the States had a few items for sale, got in contact with him, and he had 5 first aid kits, one complete and the others empty. And then he had also the parachute for the Gibson Girl kind of emergency ditching radio, and he gave me a really good deal for buying all of them off him, which we did. And I think now that completes all the first aid kits we need for Night Fright. So there should be 11 in total that we have scattered in between Coventry and back in my house. So that's great. One thing that we're working on, especially Tom up here in Coventry, the antenna trailing wire. Basically, it was for the radio operator in flight. If you wanted better coverage for radios, he would reel out a fairly long reel of antenna cable from the underside of the aircraft and would trail behind the aircraft, and that is the weight. So it's like a fishing weight, just keeps the antenna nice and stable in flight. That eventually will get fitted back to Night Fright. Other items for the radio compartment will be the dehydrator. This is a new stock dehydrator. In essence, it's just full of crystals to keep the air going into the various components of the radio system nice and dry. Luckily, one came up on eBay, and I jumped at the chance to get it. And so especially a new stock item as well. So that's great. Real piece. And then finally, it's just another airplane mooring case. This was in nice condition than the one we've got. Inside is supposed to be the stakes and steel poles, so when you park somewhere and you don't want the wind to kind of rattle and roll your wings, you just knock the pegs down into the ground and tie ropes to the ends of the wings and down just to lash it in place really. So this gets strapped to the aft bulkhead in the cargo bay. So a nice clean one is going to be a lot better. So that's what we've done. Well, it's been great, searching this stuff, the privilege of being in here, just to seeing Night Fright, a combat veteran, to working with these guys. It's been great, and thanks to everybody that supported the project.